All right, well, I'm not gonna wait around too much. This will be recorded for you guys, so if you jump in here and you have any questions, we'll go and cover those. But a couple things that I wanted to go over is I've got a lot of setup questions on the Dillon XL 750 specifically, and a lot of the questions are very well covered in the instruction manual that's coming with the presses. And Dillon has made some super improvements to their instruction manuals. These are, I mean, pretty much foolproof, and a lot of the questions that I've gotten are pretty straightforward right here in the book. And I always appreciate the questions. But the biggest one that I've gotten lately is how to set up the powder measure on your Dillon XL 750 or your Dillon 550. And I'm going to grab a powder measure here real quick. And there's no difference in the powder measures when it comes to, what's on this or what's on the 1100 or on the 750 or even the 550. The only things that really need to change, and I'm going to disassemble this here real quick. The only things that really need to change is depending on what your charge weight's going to be. And Dillon makes 3 different powder bars, and I'm really working on getting this off here. And basically have a extra small powder bar, which is up to about 3 grains or so, and the normal small powder bar is going to cover you up to about 25. And again, these are based off volume, so it really depends on what kind of powder that you're using, how much capacity is inside these bars. So usually in your big rifle, over 25 grains or so. And I believe, yeah, I'm actually even using the large powder bar on my 223. But this particular one, I use for 380. It's for 3 grains and under. And this is the extra small. But, changing out these powder bars they're very simple. I mean, basically we have a plastic plug right here that we can pull out. There is a spacer that slides out the front. And then on this assembly, there's a white tab here. And what you want to do is just be careful not to lose that, but you can pick this whole bar assembly up like so and move it out. And then you can move in either the small or the large. Same method applies. You can slide it in, and again, make sure you do not lose that white tab inside there. Slide it into place like so. Go ahead and install your spacer, again with this through hole. It's going to match up with that hole in the top of your powder measure, and it's going to slide in like so. And then put your retainer plug back in. Now, a lot of guys are struggling with getting these to throw consistently, and what the issue is a couple things. When you first fill this with powder, you need to unify the powder measure, and to do that, once you pour the powder in, you're just going to give it some love like this, and you're going to tap it. And if you watch right here, you're going to see powder start to settle in. And then once you do not get any movement, down here around this baffle, your powder is pretty much sitting down at the bottom of the powder measure. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. So once we get that unified, then we know we've got a consistent weight of powder, and everything is pretty much solidified to the best of its ability in the powder measure. Now, the first couple throws that you're going to make are going to be inconsistent because you need to establish after it's been unified and so on, the flow rate that's going to happen. And a good rule of thumb is make 5 throws on this powder measure, dump them back in the hopper before you even check what your baseline charge is going to be. So after you get 5 throws done, see what your baseline charge is going to be, and then you're going to make an adjustment if you need to add more powder or less powder. You're going to make those adjustments right here with this nut. And to increase the powder charge, you're going to move the nut clockwise, and to decrease the powder charge, you're going to rotate it counterclockwise. And one thing that guys get frustrated with is they'll make an adjustment, and then they'll do a throw, and then they start making adjustments before the cavity in the slide bar actually gets settled in. So what I like to do is, once I make an adjustment, I'm gonna do 5 throws. And then I'm gonna check and see where I'm at. If I need to make another adjustment, I'll make my adjustment accordingly, make 5 throws. And then once I think I'm at the achieved charge weight that I want to be at, I will go ahead and make 5 more drops, and I will dump every single throw that I make of those 5 charges, and I will dump them on the scale. And then what I will do at that point is take an average of those 5 charge weights. So I put 5 charges in, let's say the charge weight's 5, and I put in and I weigh 25 grains. That means my average charge weight is 5 grains. And guys can drive themselves crazy trying to chase 1/10 of a grain on this powder measure. This is a great powder measure. It is probably one of the best powder measures on a progressive press, hands down. And in my experience, I've been able to basically within 1/10 of a grain, this thing is spot on. And that's pretty darn good considering all the moving parts here. But, excuse me, guys start chasing that 1/10 without, unifying and making, 5 throws every time they make an adjustment. Dillon actually, they recommend 10 throws. So, making those additional throws to make sure that everything cavitates correctly will save you a ton of headache when trying to set up one of these powder measures. So I know that my daughter's coming down as we're live here. She's signaling her brother. But I wanted to cover that, and you guys can go back and watch that, but that's the best way to set up your powder measure for consistency.